Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. We just arrived at the job site. What we're doing here is an RV extension or new RV access. We're going to be cutting an approach right here. We have an existing rolled curb or whale tail, some people call them. What we're going to do is get a saw over here and horizontal cut from the back side of the curb about 1 inch up off the flow line. And we're going to do the wings on both sides, 3-foot wings or X's. This drain is going to be relocated to the top of wing, top of X. It's going to be 16 foot end to end, 3-foot X's, and then a 10-foot flat. Coming back here to kind of simulate the driveway, what we already have. We're going to continue that brick ribbon across. We're going to redo this brick. You can see how it sunk down because it was there's no concrete. It's probably just sitting on mortar. Then we're going to go all the way through here, 2-foot planter off the wall, solid concrete. That way that trailer can go over here. This is coming down, and then we're going to continue right into the backyard. That way the trailer will actually go behind the new fence. And the new fence will be at front of garage. This fence is at back of garage. The new fence will be at front of garage. So you can just enter in, close it up, and you know, you don't have an RV in the front of the house. All right, so this is the demo process. We're going to take this fence out so we can get easy access through here and bring the driveway all the way into the backyard. Cut the 2x4s on the back of the fence. We're going to remove it in full sections. Stacks much easier in the trailer. You just stand them up on end and you raise your sides of your trailer at the same time. Here's the little Powerhouse Vermeer skidster, 3-foot wide. I got a tooth bucket and a smooth bucket on there. First thing I'm going to remove is all the dead grass. All the lightweight stuff is going to go into the dump trailer. And then what I'll do is I'll generate a dirt pile, and I'll bring in a Super 10 dump truck to load it out. This driveway is going to be 5 inches deep. It's going to have rebar, number 3 rebar at 2-foot centers, both directions. I'm going to throw in fiber mesh additive. Down here at the bottom, we're going to go 6 inches road base, 6 inches deep concrete. The mix at the bottom is the approach and city sidewalk, which encompasses about 11 feet from back of curb. All right, here we are. We got the brick out, we got some roots out, the wood fence is out, and now I've got the laser level set up here. And before I start taking a lot of dirt out of here, I'm going to kind of figure out how much I got to go down or up, kind of get an idea of what we're working with here before I do a lot of digging. First, I'm going to take this known grade that we have, which is top of driveway, garage floor height. I could take that shot. Then I'll go to the furthest point in the back and see what's going on. Because right now I'm thinking half of this or a portion of this RV parking area may drain to the rear. And then another portion of the back, just on a quick visual. But we're going to verify it with this real quick. So I need to get the driveway. it is. Yeah, just what I thought. We got a foot. Right here, the dirt's a foot lower than that driveway, which is if the concrete's 4 inches. If we come up 4 inches, say off of this, we're still 8 inches lower than there. So yeah, the water's draining this way. Otherwise, to get slope in this distance, what is this, about 50 feet? 50 feet. And we know we got to come up 8 off of the dirt just to be level. Actually, it was a foot. It was a foot off just to be level. And then if you wanted slope, you need about another 5 inches. So you're talking 17 inches up, which puts you up here. And I don't think they're gonna want it up here. So we're gonna put it down here, and then it's just gonna slope backwards, which is fine because we have a huge field over here, and that all drains because we're working with a hillside property. All right, let's get it on. All right, so now that we've established our elevations, now we know how much dirt we have to take out, and I can just start scraping it down and follow the string line. The on-site portion of this job is going to be 5 inches deep concrete, a 3000 psi, with a rebar, number 3 rebar, which is 3/8 on 2-foot centers in both directions. Then for the off-site area, which encompasses about 11 feet in from back of curb, that encompasses the width of the approach and the city sidewalk, if there was one here. And that's going to be a different mix, and what that is a 3250 psi. There's the old drain getting ripped out, some old sprinkler lines. We still have to run another line across this new driveway to the planter for the Italian cypresses over there. That's all on a bubbler or drip system. Yeah, there was sprinkler lines throughout this whole area. It was a lawn at one time, so we're gonna have to trace them back to the beginning, cap them off, and then run a new one across. So we're using 2x4s to set this up, which is actually a 1.5 by 3.5. Here's the horizontal curb cutting machine. Really makes adding approaches or widening existing ones a whole lot easier than having to remove the curb and gutter. Because whenever you remove a curb and gutter, you have to actually remove a section of the street and re-asphalt as well in most cases. And this eliminates all that. We're going to be adding a new hole for the drain to the right side, top of X. We have to continue a new drain because of the existing driveway, the way that it was sloped. The water's still going to end up in that spot. So otherwise, if we did everything, the whole front of this house, we could have just straight graded it right to the street. That little area there, was the old drain coming through the curb. We're going to have to patch that in. But we held it up about 3/4 of an inch off the flow line. That way the water won't come back into the actual driveway. Here's the sprinkler line, the new one coming across the driveway to the existing bubbler. And of course, before we pour concrete, we'll pressure test all these lines. Double check all the sprinklers, make sure that we've capped everything and that we have no leaks. I just bent this 3-inch drain pipe around. Now most of the drain pipe is on the outside of concrete, other than a little bit is going to be underneath a brick ribbon, because we are going to be putting some brick ribbons to match the existing driveway. We'll run them right on across. Here's that pile I generated, all the dirt removal, roots, and debris that we encountered. And there's the load of base that's going to be getting spread out as soon as this dirt comes out of here. We weren't able to get all of the dirt and debris into this one super tin. So we ended up doing 2 trailers plus the super tin. This trench going in right here is for a future conduit from side of garage to planter. There'll also be a new wrought iron gate going up along from the front of the garage across the property line wall. So you could actually drive your RV all the way into the backyard, close the gate, and you wouldn't even know it was there. Now I'm putting road base on this the whole package, and we're going to pour it 5 inches deep. The bottom area will have 6 inches of road base. We've already over-X'd it. The way I'm going to do these brick ribbons, as you'll see soon, I'm going to do them after the actual pour. A lot of people do the ribbons first and then pour up to them. I like to do the ribbons last. That way my concrete can continuously flow underneath the brick, and the rebar can be continuous as well. That way the brick is part of the driveway, so everything moves at once. If you were to drive a big rig over this and you had them separated, you can see what happened here on the existing cell. The brick is sunken down, it's cracked up, the mortar's broken. That brick was done first. So that's what happens when you do it first. It just doesn't work that well. So what I'll do, I'm going to use split bricks, and I'm going to use 2x2s to form it out. That way my concrete will flow in there. It'll create a shelf for the bricks to lay in. Here's a little plate compactor. A little bit of reusable plastic formwork there. We're going to be running a ribbon along in between the existing and the new, and then we're going to continue those ribbons straight across. Also, we're going to put a ribbon right at the back of the city approach. And they're on a radius. So along the driveway I ripped my recycled plastic. You usually see that stuff in landscaping, dividing lawn from planters. I use it for formwork. And I just ripped it to 2 inches, the same as this 2x2 here, and used that for my radius to bring that brick around. Over here on the side of the driveway, we're just going to prefab all the formwork for the ribbons. The rebar is going to go in first. That way the rebar is continuous underneath the ribbons. Then the brick will just set in those recessed areas that we're going to create. All the rebar is going to stop at back of approach because the city doesn't like the rebar in that area, so we're just going to cut it off at that point. A lot of times with brick ribbons, what you'll see is the mortar chipping in between where it meets the concrete and the brick, because it was done separately, or it wasn't a monolithic pour. So there's movement between the slabs as the vehicle drives over it. They actually bounce. The slabs actually move a little bit as the weight transfers from section to section. So that pops the grout out. Or if it's just brick that was done first, brick's a lot softer than concrete, so it could chip the brick as well. In this case, it'll all move as one piece. so that won't happen here. Also, what I like to do, because we're going to have a radius edge along those brick inlays, I'll also edge the mortar so we have a double radius, and that'll also prevent any chipping on your mortar. Now we've got to match this straight on this radius at back of approach. So what I've done here to bend this, it's a pretty good curve. We're going to maintain 6 feet right here, right off of the straight, so it's going to have the same curve as the straight does. And what I did is I cut halfway through this 2x2 every 6 inches or so, just to get it to bend. Now I'm not going to nail it up at this point because there's a lot of pressure on it and it would snap if I started banging it around. So I'll let it set like this for a little while, a couple days or however, whatever it takes. In this case, it was sitting like that for 2 weeks because I couldn't get concrete because of the cement shortage here in California. So when I came back to raise that wood up, it was really easy, and it already I pulled all the stakes out and it maintained a curve, which was really nice. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video, and that's the actual pour, and then we're going to have another video of the brick inlay going in. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.